Oh, hey guys, it's me again. So, as most of you know, I attended elementary and middle school during the early 2010s. This means that I spent all of my mom's hard-earned money on DS games, Pokemon cards, Bakugan, Mr. Worldwide, Pitbull, Starry Sky, Velvet, Throw Pillow, Cover, Sofa, Pillowcase, Car Square, Throw Pillowcases, Home Decoration, 18 by 18 inches, and Silly Bands. But I have to say, of all the toys and random trinkets that I wasted money on, my favorite has to be Beyblades. Everything about this franchise was perfect, and the marketing was done in such an intricate manner that would hook any 8-year-old's brain into wanting to buy the product, kinda like crack. If you aren't familiar with what Beyblades are, why the hell did you even click on a video entirely about Beyblades? Do you not have anything better to do with your life? Beyblades have kinda had a resurrection in popularity lately, not because of the actual product itself, but because literally everyone on the internet is remembering how insane the anime is. However, the anime wasn't the only crazy thing about this franchise, since it absolutely dominated the toy industry during the late 2000s and early 2010s. While Skylanders were taking over the video game aisle in all stores, Beyblades spread like a plague across all the toy sections. No matter what retailer you went to, Walmart, Target, or Toys R Us, you would see a great wall of these things. And it was a sight to behold for baby lions. Now, Beyblades have actually been around for quite some time, meaning you, the viewer, may not have grown up with the same Beyblades as me, since there are so many different kinds. The franchise was first released in July of 1999 in the wonderful kawaii country of Japan. Developed by the toy company Takara, the first line of Beyblades was called Bakugan Shoot Beyblade, and they were inspired by Baygoma, which is basically just a traditional spinning top in Japan. These original Beyblades were also released alongside a Japanese exclusive Game Boy Color game called Next Generation Baygoma Battle Beyblade. This initial launch of these Bakugan Shoot Beyblades and the Game Boy Color game was used as a bit of a test to see how popular this franchise could become, and if there was any real interest in the concept at all. The debut of this series in Japan would go on to become a bit of a success, and the toy line was able to garner some traction amongst children and salarymen. So 1 year later, in 2000, we would see some more Beyblade media with the release of another Game Boy Color game, that being Beyblade Fighting Tournament, and then a manga series that went by the same name as the toys, Bakugan Shoot Beyblade. Clearly, this franchise was starting to pick up some steam, and Takara wanted to capitalize as much as possible by creating every form of media under the sun. 2001 was one of the most memorable years of all time, since out of nowhere came the Beyblade anime called, you guessed it, Bakugan Shoot Beyblade. The original Beyblade anime is so fire, and I recommend all of you go check it out. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch each episode in like a 10-part series on YouTube, since no one cared about copyright in the early days of this platform, and would just post the entire shows, like, on... It was really weird. Also, in 2001, Beyblades finally made its grand introduction to the world, since Hasbro was able to get a license from Takara to sell these products internationally. Hasbro was able to market these toys through the use of the anime, which also received an international release in 2001. I think all of you are smart enough to put the pieces together, but once Beyblades got an international toy and anime release, this franchise blew up. From the years 2000 to 2005, every living being was getting absolutely railed by Beyblades, and the franchise was able to do some crazy numbers, with 100 million units being sold across the planet, which is a very big number. These original plastic Beyblades, although cool and quaint and had a good anime, are not the Beyblades I personally grew up with, since from 2000 to 2005, when they were at their peak popularity, I lacked a brain. The Beyblades that impacted me as a child would not be released until August of 2008, 2008 when Takara decided to create a series of toys that would severely injure children. The world had grown bored of these traditional plastic Beyblades, so Takara knew they had to think of something new and innovative, so they decided to create metal Beyblades. These brand new metal Beyblades would lead to more intense battles, the most satisfying noise of all time, and probably the greatest rollout of merchandise known to mankind. This era of Beyblades would be called the Metal Saga, and it kicked off with Beyblade Metal Fusion. Around this time in 2008, when Metal Fusion was picking up steam, baby LaiyenZ was preparing to start kindergarten, but also I was preparing myself to become the greatest Beyblade competitor of all time. Most of you can probably relate to this, but a majority of the media and toys that I was introduced to came from television commercials and kids from school. Personally, my very first introduction to Beyblades was when a kid at my school brought his Super Vortex battle set to recess, and it came with this super cool Lightning El Drago and Storm Pegasus. Ooh, oh! Seeing everyone hover around the stadium and hearing the Beyblades clash against one another gave me an instant dopamine hit. And then add on the fact that all the kids were betting on which Beyblade was going to win, this experience acted as the beginning of not only my love for Beyblades, but my crippling gambling addiction. I was hooked. I saw these Beyblades and knew I had to have them. So I went home after school and begged my mom. The first Beyblades I ever bought were from Target, and it was the Metal Fusion, Storm Pegasus, and Rock Aquario dual pack. Baby LaiyenZ was obsessed with these two Beyblades. I started bringing them to school every day and competing against my friends during recess. But soon I came to the realization that both of my Beyblades absolutely sucked. Every time it was my turn to battle, I just got absolutely dogged by everyone. It was unfair. Storm Pegasus, more like Storm Fraud Sus. My losing streak at school started to get to me mentally. I began picking up unhealthy habits, like abusing my Trico stuffed animal at home, and there was only really one solution to this problem, and I think you guys can all guess where this story is going. Yep, I started begging my mom for more Beyblades, and luckily, my mother was #goat, #chill, and brought me to Walmart to buy not only the Burning Firestrike Stadium, but also the greatest Beyblade of all time, Burn Fireblaze. After getting Burn Fireblaze, I kind of felt like the top dog in my 3rd grade elementary school classroom. No one could beat me, and I have to admit, the ego kinda got to my head, and I also became obsessed with the retail addiction of purchasing new Beyblades. I was buying basically every top I could see at Walmart, and also around this time in the early 2010s when the Metal Saga was going on, Hasbro and Takara realized, wow, everyone is buying Beyblade stuff. So the two companies decided that the smartest idea would be to start slapping the Bey naming on whatever they could, like Bey Warriors. Yeah, I am sadly one of the few people who bought the Bey Warrior toys as a kid, and let me just say, wow, just wow. These things were so stupid, and I don't know exactly how to describe them. There were little cars that would bump into one another, but then there were also these Bey Warriors that had little figures on them, and they would also just bump into one another. They were just all really stupid, and they looked ugly. Okay, I've yapped long enough about my childhood memories and my love for toys, blah blah blah. Now we gotta get into the real big boy stuff. The anime. I know everyone watching this video has probably already seen the million different people talk about the anime, since it's one of the most unfiltered pieces of children's media ever created. For example, Moses parted the sea with a Beyblade, and then there's also a giant facility that makes children partake in excruciatingly tense training just so they can spin a top, but better. Yeah, although the anime seems really stupid and weird from today's perspective as an adult, this show was peak when I was a kid. and it's still kinda peak, okay? Don't judge me, I still watch it from time to time. The introduction of Metal Bay City and Ginka's character development during the Metal Fusion portion of the anime had me wanting to jump straight into my TV and spin the block for Ginka's gang. Also, add on the fact that the Dark Nebula is probably a top 3 evil organization of all time. This anime was cooking. Outside of the toys and the anime, the only other Beyblade media that I consistently consumed as a child was the video game series. And in all honesty, these games weren't that good. The first Wii game, Battle Fortress, had no actual cutscene animations, and it kinda just felt like a visual novel mobile game, but on the Wii. My personal favorite Beyblade game had to be Beyblade Evolution, which was on the 3DS. But the thing is, I didn't like this game because of the game itself, because the game wasn't good. Instead, my favorite aspects of the game came from the soundtrack and the Monkey Ball-esque side game mode. But also, the best part of the entire gaming experience wasn't even the game itself. Instead, it was this cool wing Pegasus that came bundled with the game. Alright, now you may be wondering, after the insane success of the Metal Saga era of Beyblades that basically made up my entire childhood, what happened to this franchise? Well, there have been 2 follow-up series, those being Beyblade Burst, which released in 2015, and then Beyblade X, which released more recently in 2023. Sadly, although I would love to talk about both of these different Beyblade iterations, I know absolutely nothing about them, since after elementary school, I fell out of love with these little baby toys and decided to grow up and become an amiibo collector. Hey, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. It's another super random, just passion project topic. I love Beyblades and have been wanting to get back into the series for a while now, so I decided, why not talk about the Metal Saga and my personal memories with the series. If you have memories with Beyblade, please drop a like, and if you don't have memories with Beyblade, still drop a like, because I need more likes. Please, I'm begging, bigger number, better person. Also, leave a comment about what your favorite era of Beyblades is, and what your favorite Beyblade top in particular is. Also, make sure to subscribe. I like sharing random stories and information with my viewers on a weekly basis, so subscribe. New videos every Friday. Finally, follow my Twitch. I stream every Friday and Saturday, so follow. Oh, okay? That's all. Bye!